charts. I'm not going to talk about any fundamental, except the fact that apparently bad job data is good for the S&P 500. So you know, bad news, good news. So yes. Let's see the US dollar index. Just 1 second. So here and the stops. Like, okay, I kind of was afraid of. People are still long, so didn't really flush longs out. If I see the Dukascopy sentiment index, still 68% long dollar. So not sure what to make of it. Just for those of you that don't follow the sentiment index on Dukascopy, very interesting. Because basically with Elliot wave you are trying to predict psychology of the markets, but let's say it really should be an indicator inside the platform. I would be very interested in having an indicator in which it just says what the positions of traders are. So because you could build some strategies off of that indicator. So 68.7% still long. US dollar Japanese yen and US dollar Swiss also 63%. So let's move to the charts. Bulls woke up this morning at 5 o'clock. Of course, every trade must be started at 5 o'clock, or else. So the early bird always must get up early, apparently. US dollar index. Let's see. So it reached the 161 that I have been talking about. It dipped a bit below the 161. My mouse is not working today, so it dipped above. But now we have some bulls apparently that have shown interest in the morning. So usually in the morning price action is indicative of big money or something, because we'll see. From 161, I mean, so despite the people still being long dollar, so this being bad for US dollar in my opinion, because okay, I am still thinking that we could stage a bounce. I think I want to put the RSI because I want to see if it's oversold on the US dollar index. Probably it's getting oversold. Just 1 second, so if I can put my RSI, because just 1 second. Probably it's getting into the oversold territory. Yes, please crash. Relative strength index. Yes, it dipped into oversold. I'll just put up the chart again. And let's analyze if we get a good bounce. Okay, I have to use my mouse is not working today, so I have to use this crazy mouse. That's from my laptop. And let's see if the RSI proved to be a good indicator. Talking about the US dollar index. Bounce. Okay, good morning. From this, see that it got oversold, bounced. A good one here, Here we staged a small bounce, then it went down. Okay, now it was a bit, but we're nearing, let's say, this point. About here, a small bounce, then more downside, and some good price action. Now it's again moving into oversold. Probably will get a good bounce, hopefully, because the whole move needs to be, let's say, corrected. And hopefully enough stops got run over yesterday for everybody to be happy. The numbers are, it's either that I don't know, is there anybody with billions of dollars that is watching me and not wanting to go the other way on US dollar? Still people are long US dollar, so we'll see. I'm expecting a bounce. My target is reached. If we don't get a bounce, I'll have to rethink everything. And on the S&P especially, is very strange that all this bad news is leading to record high S&P. As I explained, probably they don't even need jobs, because basically if the Fed is printing money directly to the government, and the government is just using the money with government spending to contract corporations and make airports, to make infrastructure, to make whatever they want. So basically it's a direct wealth transfer to companies, and who needs, if they can take the people out of the equation altogether, it will still work. They don't need people to make this work, or taxes or anything. They just need the Fed. I actually have researched a bit. Quantitative easing is like a new invention. It's I can find its beginnings. When did it get invented? I think it's this crisis that is the only crisis that quantitative easing actually was used and invented, basically, because there was no quantitative easing until, I think, I still have to look it up, but from initial estimates, it would seem it's a modern invention. And as I explained, the Fed can really just buy up everything, because the amount of lumber available is the real limit. Okay, so US dollar index. Let's see. And this morning, of course, it retraced all of its prior price action. Going down the stops. So I'm actually, so 20,000 jobs will not make a difference in the US economy. So 20,000 jobs that are not accurate, plus or minus, is not going to make a difference. Or not even the trend is not going to make a difference. So my guess is that this whole news business is just a way to run the stock. So and this is, let's say, further evidence is the fact that they don't have any other. So when the Fed surprised us with no, we know that every currency pair went its own way. Basically, they were hunting the stops. It was not, okay, euro is trying, it was not an interpretation of the news like, okay, this is good for euro, bad for the US. No, every currency pair was going wherever the stops were. Because there was no, this is good for the US, this is bad for Europe, or this is good for the emerging. It was the only afterwards that they interpreted it. But once you saw the charts, okay, you were like wondering what's going on, because emerging markets or euro lira was tanking, euro US dollar Russian ruble was tanking, others were rallying, euro Swiss was rallying. It was all over the place. It's just so the news probably just this. not it's surprising the emphasis that market places on numbers that have been proven to be absolutely wrong, and so after the revisions came, they were proven to be absolutely wrong. So how can you place that much emphasis on those numbers? It's just a game. So my irregular is still valid. We have reached. I have put probably my. Did we take out the top? Let me just check. So if we took out that one, that means not 5 waves down. Let me just look at it exactly. Come on, what is up with my computer today? Yes. I think it's exactly to the pip or a few pips up took out the top probably with a few pips, or it's below a few pips. My mouse is not working and I cannot see the proper high. Was 162.59.4 and now it is 162.55.6. So no, yes, a few pips. So we're still in the cards with discount. Let's see. Okay, so pound is showing signs of reverse. Hopefully. Okay. Euro Japanese. Oh my God! What? I didn't even check. Look at this crazy. On the back. Or green. Hopefully not the SM or green, right? Because yes, it was a fun ride on Euro Japanese, right? It to the pip accuracy on the triangle top. I kind of from the beginning I had like a bad that once it reached in, so once it came into the triangle again, I told you probably it will try to go to the triangle top, and it did. So now that we reached the triangle top, it's I told you at some point it will realize that it is Euro Japanese and not just Japanese trading. You'll see the major reversal. Okay. Yes. Let's look at the Euro Swissy because that's our leading indicator. Remember, Euro Swissy is paving the way to new and undiscovered Euro price action. Japanese yen. No, Japan is really so. I will have to. No, in this it's really I can't see a end for, because basically I told you the Fed cannot go bankrupt. It can blow up its balance sheet without real concern. The only problem I see is in the UK, because all their debt is mostly financial corporation debt. And financial corporation have this nasty, they introduce quantitative easing right now. So quantitative easing is like I told you, I've explained, it's like a firewall, because banks put all their bad debts on the Fed's balance sheet so they don't have to go bankrupt. And of course, they are all doing this. So in the UK, it's a bit of a problem because if you look at their debt situation, so corporations can go bankrupt. It's not like sovereign states that can go bankrupt and nothing happens. The Americans don't come and bomb the cities and take some territories if you go bankrupt. If you go bankrupt, that's that. You wipe your hands and nothing happens. They will not accept you at their bond markets or whatever. They will give you crap ratings, but who cares? So, but if corporations go bankrupt, then they have like to sell all their assets. They have to lay off people. So all their assets they sell all their assets. Okay, they did the Greece had to sell all their private, so all their public held companies, but Greece is not experienced enough. Hardcore capitalists will not sell. UK sold Royal Mail, but are there any other state-owned companies in the UK? But if a sovereign state goes limited, if they really want to, they don't have to pay anything. If they really want to default, like Russia did, for example. So, Euro Japanese, it's an ABC regular, whatever. I told you, it's probably in a second wave. This is the first, and it's building steam. Once this triangle, do you want me to show you the triangle again? So once this triangle is over, then once it breaks down to it's building pressure at the moment. But once it breaks, then major moves should follow on the downside. So there's this site actually if you go to the US Treasury, you can actually help America out of its debt. There is this link US Treasury site where you can donate money to the Treasury, money that will be used to pay off debts. So if you really want to make some change, you really want to change. So, oh yes, so Euro hedge also, good one. But this to me, so the US Treasury really on the forefront of donations. If you really want to donate if you really want to help America out of its debt, donate to the US Treasury some money. I'm actually surprised that Warren Buffett didn't donate some money because he basically wanted higher taxes for rich people because he was upset that he didn't pay enough tax. So why not donate some money to the US Treasury and help America out of its debt problem? So once this triangle breaks, we're going in a second, probably to the previous fourth, my target. I didn't put the target, but okay, it's this area. 190. Okay, so this is Euro Japanese. Euro US. I promised to Gina mascarpone cake. Mascarpone cake. I don't know. What tiramisu or I don't know tiramisu. Is that mascarpone cake in America? Let's see Euro US dollar. It's past a bit the 100% expansion and okay, reaching the top of the triangle now. So if they really want to, they can push another stop hunt above this, as it has become the norm. So it has become the actual norm in order for the market to fool everybody into thinking it's a breakout up to the triangle because they're all trading triangles and triangles have been so popular. It is actually fashionable to break a little bit out of the triangle and then reverse. Like it happened here, it happened on Australian US dollar, it happened on pound US dollar, it happened on I don't know. I had like a million examples. Now it's only these. It's very fashionable, trust me. So could run the stops and reverse. But okay, probably if you're short, pretty safe. I don't see it above 140. If it reached 140, I think some market participants will start to question euro, because okay, 140 is a number, round number, and I like round number. Next month, so I'm basically expecting it to go down, so not expecting it to rally like crazy and break out of the triangle, because yes. And oil for next wave, well, let's just check. Okay. Just let me get rid of it. Okay. Y, X, Zeta down. It should be very much bearish, because basically, in my opinion, it has completed a double combination. And it also reaching some oversold. It could get a bit oversold. Okay, now it's. I'm not saying it. So 68%, trust me, it's still a lot if people are long dollar. So I'm not sure if multi-million billionaires are watching me and not going the other way, but it's still so I don't like it when I see that many people on the same side of the market. So I have to share my opinion with you, and I don't. What do you want me to say? Be long? No. So so the nation y, hello, stop being upset. Y, X, zeta is like complete here. Now we should move down. So a lot and break. Stop it. What a new, who is upset with my analysis? It's going down. I know the US is printing, but they have to save this probably somehow. Looking at the target. The target is so we must understand a basic concept with DCB. So they are, of course, I actually revisited Enron, the smartest guy in the room, the movie, because I think it's excellent movie on how people lie in order to save it. So understand, if the only so to me, I don't care about the stress test. They will make new stress tests in Europe. I don't care. Even the fact that you need to. So this is only trying to convince me that banks are good, but the action of making the stress tests, you shouldn't. If the banks are sound, you shouldn't be worried about making. Why are you putting banks through this stress test if everything's okay? So what are you trying to convince me? So probably Draghi doesn't realize that the fact that they are making stress tests on Bank of Europe is what's the problem. So this is the problem, because if banks were sound, you didn't need stress tests. You don't need stress tests for sound banks. Why are they? I'm actually wondering if they did stress tests on Cyprus banks before they went to bankrupt. I'm actually will do some research on this. Were there some stress tests in Cyprus? So okay, what were we talking? And target 1 3 4 6 is the bottom. First target is the bottom of the triangle probably. So where we started, just see. No, even lower. Yeah, so but don't be so you have to be. I told you, so people are still long dollars. So too many people. That's the problem. It's not like market needs to be wrong, then be right. So bear with this. Target is 129. Let's say first this trend line that it held, and then it probably will stage a bounce, and then more downside. But don't be, even if your Elliott wave, it seems like 5 waves, whatever. Don't get into. Please remember, Elliott is just a way of predicting market psychology. There's no better way of actually seeing the market psychology. So there's no better indicator than the sentiment index. Okay, not advertising because it's copies, but it's an indicator that you should pay very close attention to. That's using Elliott, you're just trying to predict market psychology. You're not trying to do anything else. But sentiment is actually telling you how are traders positioned and what is in their minds. So that's the one you should look at first. Then try to predict everything else, in my opinion. So if you have a different, you can apply it. But there's no better way than actually looking at the numbers. And 68.8, okay. We'll see if we don't get another run on the stops until we get to some reasonable levels like 20 or 30% long. We'll see. I'm patient. So just, okay. Now let's move. Looking at the big oil get that now. Starting point for sale or S&P. On the news that nobody is working in America, of course we need the new record high on the S&P. So at some point I actually recommended all the unemployed people in America just buy some stocks, because it's better than being on the balance sheet of the government. It's better to be on the balance sheet of the Fed, because the balance sheet of the Fed has no limits. Governments actually need to pay some things once in a while, but the Fed, no, it can only grow. It does not have a bottom. It's a black hole there. If you go to the wall, where is the Federal Reserve Station? Wall Street, right? If you go there, you enter the Fed, probably they will take you to a dark room where they have this black hole where all the bad debt goes black hole and it magically disappears. S&P. We reached our target. Okay, now waiting for the sell. If we don't get it, I would be very upset because I will not be right if I am not right. So some proper philosophical. We are still in this diagonal, and yes, if we look at Euro Turkish lira is already sensing the disturbance in the force. So Euro Turkish lira has already started rallying, and markets are sensing something's wrong with their pipeline of cash, and we'll see if it's a leading indicator or not. But Euro Turkish lira is already, if you look at it, it's already not so well. Okay, this is my count on the S&P. So if you want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're still in the triangle. If you want to make a dojo or something, okay. Wait and see. I don't have anything. It's my target, and I'm sticking to it until it gets invalidated or gets validated. We'll see. So S&P. What else? What else? What else? Yes, the biggest news is oil. Oil is, of course, tanking along with gas. Yes, I'll go to oil. Oil. I actually looked at some interviews because it's basically interesting how markets think at some points in the how market participants thought at some points in the past. And there was this video in which at a certain point oil was correlated with the S&P. Did you know? So because it was a logical correlation. If the Fed prints like crazy, of course there's going to be inflation in the stock market and in commodity prices. But as I explained, Americans need their gas cheap. So at some point, we look at historically, there was almost a one correlation between the S&P and oil. I think from 2008 to about this peak right here or something. So there was definitely a excellent correlation between what the S&P did and what oil did, and that was called correlation, because if you thought about it, oh wait, where is all this money going? It's just sloshing around in the economy. Good. Then something happened once it hit like this level, something very strange happened to oil. Stopped correlating with the S&P. S&P continued rallying because that's socially acceptable for stocks to go up, like Enron. You know, if you will watch the Enron, the Smart Guy in the Room movie, it's an excellent movie. As long as stock markets went up, who cares how they made the profits on Enron? There were actually losses. All their businesses were producing losses, not profits. They were just making up profits using accountants and estimations and future earnings, like they are doing now in all of the companies. You know that they're not using P ratios, are not cutting it anymore. It's future P ratios that count now. So the estimates, they were getting bonuses for 10 years worth of estimates. And of course, nobody can predict what will happen in 10 years, but they were getting bonuses now for 10 years worth of profit. So at a certain point, it all came crashing. The lie was exposed, and it's a bit what's probably going to happen with the S&P. Everybody's happy. The ones that are long are happy. The stock market's going up, and in the meantime, jobs are not getting created. If I don't want to calculate again. 85 billion divided by 1,000 for 146,000 jobs created. I'm not sure exactly what that amounts to, but probably more than 500,000 per job. So as long as the lie is not popped, everybody is happy and everybody feels great. So we'll see. I started from oil. Oil has broken down 100, so 1 under 100. I don't know. I told you, in my opinion, it will just do nothing because they need their cheap oil. So second wave that is going to make some sideways. A long time, 20 years in my opinion. Okay. Oil and gas also tanking. Gas, I will not pass the gas. There's no buy point, so you should be. I think if you want to trade oil, I will not be buying oil. Like gold also. Yes, the buy point. It's like gold. Like so they actually laid off the gold because there was this scandal. It was a scandal. Everybody knew, so they manipulated prices down, and of course they called at 5 o'clock. Of course, all the manipulation gets done in the morning. Of course, tanked gold, and the media said, "Wait a minute, somebody tanked. Aren't they manipulating prices?" And probably this or what the regulating authority called the traders and said, "Look, all the media knows that you are manipulating gold prices. Stop it for a bit and then resume." So you know that gold at the moment is not being beaten down with the intermediate phase. So oil, let's analyze the what is probable. I'm sorry, my mouse is not working and it's trouble. Okay. So first buying point, if it is, oh come on, with your mouse. They say that this is a 5 waves. That okay, this E wave completed, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry, I didn't label it. It's a first wave, and then it's just the second wave. Good. So it's not really invalidated until we break below this level. So 94.40, let's say, would be the invalidation of this wave count. So let's say anywhere close to 94.40 would be a place where probably they're going to protect, like McCarthy wants to say. So 94.40 is the place where probably they're going to stage a bounce, or very close to where the wave structure apparently started. But so this is considering other people's wave count, because I told you basically it's a second wave and I'm expecting it to go down. So you should go going long, you should be going short in my opinion. I don't have a different one, you can trade it. So this I love the market because you really don't have the market really will show you if you're right or wrong. If you don't agree with somebody, it's not really a problem, because basically you can be stubborn all you want. So This is my opinion. If you want to trade a different one, I told you if it will stage a bounce, it probably is going to be very close to where it's all started. My 84. Yes, it's at very close to the triangle right now. So 84. Yes, that will also probably provide us with 84 is a bit lower. What did I do now? So yes. Okay, let's see. Euro Swiss. It's a leading indicator. We know. Excellent interview in Dukascopy about Switzerland and its compliance with US authorities. Yes, some excellent interviews at Dukascopy. Check them out. Some are good, some are. I don't really watch every interview, but some are really good. Euro Swiss leading indicator. Watch out. Watch out, the bears. Okay, it's going down, so it's a leading indicator of things to come. Probably, I don't know how to interpret it because basically I understand that Switzerland is no longer safe haven, and Bitcoin is now the new safe haven. So, what is it when it's going down now? What's the interpretation, the official one? It's not version, it's pro risk or problem. Whatever. So we'll see. It has been a leading indicator for euro US dollar. So we'll see if it we'll see if it is the indicator once again. Okay. When are the stress tests? So nobody's watching the stress test. You know, everybody's concerned about the unemployment level in the US. That number, we know that it is randomly generated by a machine. So I will have to. I really want to see this stress test show in which they will try to convince Draghi will try to convince the world that European banks are extremely safe, and they will pay a lot of analysts to confirm what they have found, like Goldman Sachs. Okay. Yeah, some have been required in Bitcoin recently. Bitcoin is a bit strange because basically it's a programmer's currency, and programmers are a bit strange. They're not like normal people. But it's the beginnings. It's just at the beginning. Let's say they're just now putting the infrastructure together. So from what I can see, it's going to be extremely interesting because basically it's a web of individuals. So everybody can be a server basically. So there's no one point in the network where they can attack or seize the servers or whatever else they think of. So it's a web, it's a dynamic web, and there's no central hub in which I don't know this Bitcoin servers are, and if the FBI comes and raids like they raided the torrent servers, then it's going down or whatever. It's dynamic. They thought, but it's at the beginning, and of course, a few glitches are inevitable. So we're we're watching. It's going to be it's an interesting concept. Um, Just yesterday I was introduced to this mining concept. I don't know exactly how it works yet, but I'm researching it. I'm interested in because from what I know is that it's not illegal. So if you are a company, you are required to transform your everything into the local currency. Let's say euro, right? So every accounting thing that you make or you sell something or whatever, it has to be transformed in your local in your currency that the law says is zero, right? In euro. But not, now, no, I don't think there's any law in which it's so it's like a barter. I think it's going to be like a barter. With I have to research it further, but so they can make Bitcoin. I don't know if they can make Bitcoin illegal because it's not. Counterfeiting, because basically probably they're going to say, okay, this is money counterfeiting, but it's like a barter system. When you pay, let's say I have a company that makes tires and you have a company that makes software. I pay with tires, you give me software. And how do we register that in accounting? Well, we have to convert the software's value into euros, and we have to convert the tires value into euros, and that's how the barter works. But basically they can do the same thing with Bitcoin. They can convert Bitcoin into euros and still respect the law and still have proper accounting, and in my opinion is not illegal, but we'll have to see how, because basically they can write laws on the fly. I mined, you mined 5 bitcoins. Now they're worth $200 or whatever. Negatively correlated. I would, and please be advised that they can tank Bitcoin also. So don't be fooled into thinking that it's if it's secure, then they cannot tank it. No. So you still can buy Bitcoins using real dollars, right? So if you have unlimited amounts of dollars, like I said, you can still buy Bitcoins and then sell them and tank the market. So this is a problem with very low liquidity markets and small markets, so don't, but even if they tank it, they will just be become a martyr, they killed Bitcoin. Oh no, it's a martyr. Let's look at other. I'm still looking into it. I don't know all the details yet, but it's probably 90% Ponzi, 10% real, but so is the stock market. Trust me, it's 90% Ponzi at this point. When S&P makes record highs with less jobs, then you must be wondering, okay, is this real or what is going on? Okay, so let's see. I'll check I always check the links after. Australian, Canadian, target-ish. Oh, I don't have anything to say. I'm basically expecting it all to turn in my favor, because basically I am also long dollar as 68% are. So still expecting them to finish with the stop hunting and reverse. Australian Canadian, not really much to say. We are at this level, I have told you. A equals C. We have spiked a bit higher and now we're reversing. I don't want to talk about Australian Canadian. US dollar Canadian. I don't know. It's very confusing. If you want, I can put up the chart. I'm basically bearish on the retarded correlation that is going on with Australian, US dollar Canadian, and oil, because we know that it's positively correlated, despite the fact that it should be inversely correlated. So I can't really make any sense of what's going on. Euro Australian. Ooh, they staged the bounce in Euro Australian, didn't they? No, I don't know. So I'll have to think about it. I don't know. I don't think that it's complete. The trouble with these zigzags is that, okay, the guidelines say A equals C. So these are just guidelines, they're not rules. So if you A equals C, okay, but A is not really constrained to equal C. So that's the guideline, but it could be over. I don't know. If we look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, we see the C leg is not, it does not go to equality, right? So it could be the same here. I don't know. Retracement probably. I didn't put a retracement. I think it's okay. Just 1 second. If I don't trade it. Yes, it's the trend line. You see that trend line that doesn't extend? Look, look at the trend line. You see the trend line now? I just made the ray. You see where it bounced? Exactly the trend line. So let's see where the trend line is coming from. Mm. There's some bad analysis on my part. I should have seen the trend line. I didn't put it up the way because it's just sometimes it clogs the charts. Okay. So now it's totally disappeared. Excellent. But it's the trend line from if you put the trend line from the previous one, this one, and okay, it got a bit respected here, so that was the bouncing point. You see on Euro Australian. Should have saw that coming, but didn't, because I don't read it. Euro Great Britain pound is moving along on the upside. I told it's a fifth, still expecting it to take out the highs. It's very slow. Bund, on the other hand, I don't know what's going on exactly with the Bund. I will have to because I don't have the 10 US Treasury. But the Bund seems to be going up, and I failed to find the correlation with the stock market because basically when the catalyst for this crisis is going to be probably interest rates that are going to spike. So if we get a sell-off, we should see interest rates spiking. Or it could be Japan. You know, in Japan's case, they kept interest rate at 0 and the stock market still went down. It's probably more Japan. Yes. So more Japan than what I think. I'm still watching it, at least until it stays below the 50% retracement of the whole move. Still it's bearish. And my initial labeling was an ABC, and because it's perfect equality, this move to this move. Yes, we'll see if it's in just a correction. If it's a correction scenario in which interest rates are just staying at zero, like in Japan's case. So if interest rates are just doing nothing, it could be the case, and 20 years of doing nothing. UK, Japan, hello. Japanese market seems to be tanking more. I have to look at your US dollar Japanese yen because it basically correlated with US dollar Japanese yen. Yes, I'll finish with US dollar Japanese yen. Yes. What to make of it? I haven't the faintest idea. US dollar Japanese probably still inside. It's fine now. It's probably the yen. Yes. So probably the yen. They don't like the more. I told you. Yes, I should. I told you. Euro Japanese is basically Japanese Japanese. That should be the index. If that's thinking, that means the yen is really the currency they don't like. Okay. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. And sorry, I was late.